Now recording.
The following podcast may have adult humor,
Swear words.
innuendos of a adult nature.
Making fun of me.
That's a given. Everybody looks forward to that. But just know that you have been warned. Hey everybody, welcome to Knights of the Braille, the podcast, the Blind Knights. We have me, which is Richard, and we have TJ, which is, just his cat.
Yep, we're all here.
Now we got the whole crew with us then.
Yep. Gray's here somewhere, but she's not on the microphone, so
She's shy.
yeah,
But-
she's mostly it's just she doesn't give a fuck.
I gotcha. We're gonna
She's
get
like a
into
cat version of you.
I had like 3.5 seconds there. I mean,
You did.
3.5.
But she's a cat version of you.
Exactly. Gonna get into the Knights of the Braille news. Knights of the Braille news day. Of course, we have upcoming on September the 30th and October the 1st of 2022 from 7 a.m. Eastern Time until 10 p.m. Eastern Time, the Everyone Games event, because everybody deserves to game. It's
finally here.
Yeah. It need awareness in gaming that, we need accessibility in all formats. So,
Yep.
Everybody be sure to check that out. It's going to be live streamed. Then they're also going to put them up on YouTube as they did last year. We're going to have all kinds of panels, going to have games such as Surviving Abel, Pathfinder. There's going to be some D&D 5e, of course, and other games as well. And there'll even be some play-by-post games leading up to the event for those that want to participate but don't want their voices recorded. Be sure to check them out at www.everyone-games.com. Follow them on Twitter at everyonegames2, and sign up, get ready to play, and have fun.
And also, I think one of the games that's going to be played is, from what I remember, the Cats game we played in. I think they're doing a one-shot of that.
I believe mostly Blind Gamer is doing that. I know there's a play-by-post of a game called Honey Heist, which is where you are a bear. So
that would be cool.
I think it would be really, really cool. Unfortunately for me, I won't be able to participate nearly as much as I did last year. Just personal reasons here, a lot of stuff going on. But we also have some more news, and that is Saturday we launched DiceHeads, and you can find them at the DiceHeads on Twitter. And what it is a collaboration of 3 different podcasts of collaborators and 3 different podcast peoples. I'm trying to think of the word here. They produce like podcasts on disability. We have the guys over at Seesaw, and you can find them at Seesaw Pod on Twitter. You have Hindsight, it's 20/200. You can find Chad over at 20,200 Hindsight on Twitter. We also have This Is What Blind Looks Like, and you can find those 2 lovely ladies on Twitter at Blind Looks Like.
I didn't know you had anybody else join. I thought it was just the 2 of them.
It is the other 2 in season 1, but Kimberly has, from This Is What Blind Looks Like, has graciously transcribed episode 1. So it's and her and Angie will be involved in season 2, or at least Kimberly will be. I'm assuming that Angie will be as well.
That's cool. I gotta check that out.
It
is
is
the podcast
really
up?
cool.
I'm sure.
Yes, if you were subscribed to the Knights of the Braille podcast, you would have gotten episode 1 back on
Yeah, I
Saturday.
unsubscribed when I when I stepped into
You
Jim's
did what?
spot
What?
on the
What?
podcast.
What? You took over? You sitting there
When
and
I
you
took
be
over
quiet.
Jim's spot is what I'm saying.
You didn't take over Jim's spot though. I took over Jim's spot.
I meant in the podcast because you and Jim used to do it, and now it's you and me.
Are you
That's
saying
all.
you have power? I will slash
No, I don't
you.
have any. When I took over as the second host,
Why can't they have a /mute command?
that's all I'm saying. I just meant that it's me and you now instead of Jim and you.
And now he's not speaking correct English. I never understood that
This
either.
coming from a hick.
Exactly. Even I know it's supposed to be you and I.
I don't give a shit.
I know.
Does
We can
this
tell.
face look like it cares?
No, it looks like you ran into a boat or something.
Yeah, I did. That was back in the summer of '88.
Yeah.
The Knight of the Braille Library.
And as we enter into the library, we already see Jesse with his nose in a book while he's watching TV at a really loud volume.
I don't really do that anymore though, because Katie said if I'm gonna watch TV and it's something we pay for, that I shouldn't do two things at once.
Bless him. We all know he needs help, but we all need help. So, what book do you have for us this
right.
week, Jesse?
Today I'm going to recommend Terminal by Brian Keene. And Terminal is about a guy who works for a foundry, and he's been sick, and he finds out that he has terminal cancer, hence the title Terminal, and it is, quote, growing at an alarming rate. So he decides they're poor, they live in a trailer. Him and his wife and his young son, they always have to, go jump through hoops to make ends meet. They have creditors calling them. Him and his friends decide they're going to rob a bank. So they get caught up in this bank robbery. All this shit goes down, and he meets a young boy who has the power to heal people. And it's all about them. Pretty much half of the novel takes place with them in the bank with their hostages and everything. It is it's more like a crime story mixed with horror, but it is a fascinating story. I will say that he comes across this young boy that can heal, but the ending isn't some hallmark ending that you would expect. If you hear that old guy with terminal cancer finds someone that can heal him, it is very interesting. The ending, how they get to the ending, stuff like that. Very good story, very emotional in some spots. You really identify with Tommy. He's the main character. One of his friends he has two friends. The one friend is kind of dumb. He kind of reminds me, he's not to the level per se, but a little bit like Lenny in Of Mice and Men, if you've read that.
Oh, that is a great book.
He's not he doesn't have a disability per se, but he's kind of that
he's
type
slow
of person.
or simple.
Yeah, right. And the other guy is kind of crazy, like a nut, and that is just exacerbated by the situation they're in. So he kind of becomes the villain in a way. Just a great story. If you've read Brian Keene, you've read his horror novels, it's different, but it's still him. The voice is still him, if it makes sense. Very good book. I highly recommend it to anybody.
Right. Yeah, I loved of Mice and Men, and not being politically correct. Lenny was like what we would say down here is he's just not all there.
His character broke my heart.
Oh yeah,
even as a teenager, I'm like, oh my god, I love that book though.
He's a fantastic character.
Yeah.
But for me, this is an older book. And I
Terminal's
really love
older too. It just got re-released.
I had about 1.25.
You did. Sorry, but if you guys look it up, there's two versions. I got the author's definitive edition because he had a lot of cuts made in it by the publisher, so he released it on his own.
Ah. Can I go now?
Yes.
You
Sorry.
sure?
I am done.
I just want to make sure, you know.
You just made me think of it when you said older book.
Well, now I need to check and see what I can say so that I can actually get it. Anyway, just
Yes.
picking at Jesse. I've heard from Katie that that's all over. But I'm going to be telling you about an older book today by one of my favorite authors, which is Dean Koontz. And Jesse, I'm not sure if you've ever read it, but the book, The Funhouse.
No, but I've seen the movie. I don't know if the
is-
movie came first or the novelization came first, but I've seen the movie.
Oh no, the book definitely came before the movie. I'm not sure if it's based on his book or not because I haven't heard about the movie. But it's a really good book and it's rather dark. You know,
Mhm.
and it to me it grabs you from the very beginning. You know that, and I love carnivals because they can be extremely spooky.
Oh, they
You know,
are.
and granted, they can be kind of like cheery, and you know I think that's what makes them more horrifying to me is that they try to be overly cheery.
Yep.
You know, and that's just creepy to me when you're trying to be like overly cheery. It's not natural.
It's like Disney World. Disney World's creepy if you really think about it.
Oh yeah. Which is one reason I've only been like once, I think, to Disney. But the book is, I won't say it's like extremely fast paced. It does have a couple little draggy parts in it, but whenever you're reading through the draggy parts, it makes sense. You know, there's like, to say it best is there's not a wasted word in
good.
here.
Is it a situation where it like adds more backstory?
In the majority of them, yes.
Okay. I love that kind of stuff.
And it's been a while since I've read it. I want to think I remember it like flashing back. You know, it explains some of the things that goes on, and it's kind of like a slow build with an extremely evil villain, but yet it's the kind of villain that I like because he tries to act like he's all nice and honorable, and that's it's how I play my evil characters normally.
And he's not one-dimensional, probably, right?
No, not at all.
I love that too.
And I'm trying to think of his name. I know his first name, I believe, is Conrad. I can't remember if it's Stryker or Steiker, something along those lines. But he's like the barker, you know, at the carnival at the Funhouse. And oh man, it's just, I won't say it's the best Dean Koontz book I've ever read because you know I put that to Seize the Night and Carpe Diem, I think is the name of the other one. No, it's Fear Nothing and Seize the Night. That's the name of the two books with Christopher Snow in it. I really like. Yeah, I really like those and Mr. Murder, which was actually the book that I was reading whenever I had my wreck, you know. So
were you able to go back and finish it, or was it one of those things where you're like, no, I can't do it?
No, somebody actually bought me the audiobook of it because I never did get to finish it.
That was nice.
I can't remember if we bought it or someone bought it for me, but I remember getting it back when, you remember what cassettes were? You know, those little things that, you know, if they got too dry, the tape would start squealing and eventually snap, you know. For those younger people that are listening to this, it was way before CDs. You know, kind of after 8 tracks. And
I wonder if, you know how records have come back, albums, I wonder if cassettes ever will. Probably not.
I don't think so. Records, though, despite what anybody else says, this is coming from me, I'll argue you to the day I die, have the cleanest sounding music.
I don't see it. And I don't know if it's just me, I'm sure, because everyone says that, but if you put like a record in like an MP3, I can't tell the difference.
not talking like that. I'm talking like, say you put a record on a turntable, which actually
Yeah, I know.
plays.
That's what.
Yeah. There is it's a clearer sound. At least it is
Oh.
to me. But then again,
A lot of people say that. Yeah.
I grew up listening to records over at the house I live in now, which was my granny and Papa's house. And
Yeah.
there's older records like that. It just sounds like a purer sound.
Yeah.
You
My
know.
cousin is huge into records.
I've got actually a few that I've bought off of eBay, such as one of my favorite bands is Smash Mouth, and I bought some of their like singles on records and
So
all.
you would be able to answer this question for me then, because you're blind now. Is it hard to find like a specific song that you would want in the record, or do you just have to kind of play it from the beginning, or how does that work?
I haven't really played any since I
Oh,
lost my
okay.
sight. I bought these as strictly collectors
Oh, okay.
things. But I can tell you from what I remember, and it could have been that I was a kid, it was still hard to find the record because you think CDs are easily scratched. Records are too, and just like a CD, once that happens, it's pretty much over. Because I used to get
Yeah.
yelled at all the time trying to do the whole DJ thing. But
Yeah.
it's all good. Yeah, really, really good book, The Funhouse. Definitely check it out.
I
If
have
you've never read it.
I have two Dean Koontz books on Audible that, of course, I haven't read. I have The Watchers and I have The Good Guy. Have you read those?
There's, I think, 2 books by Dean Koontz that I haven't read. And speaking of that, I downloaded a few off of Bard that I was like, I don't think I've read that. Like 2 or 3 chapters in, it's like, oh yeah, I've read that. I remember this happens, this happens, this happens.
Mm.
And delete it. But I think there's like 2 or 3 that I have not read, and I'm currently after this book that I finish up now, I'm going to read Quicksilver, which I don't think that I've read by Dean Koontz, and maybe 3 because there's one about the Nameless that
Yeah, he seems to be doing more thrillers now.
yeah, and that's a lot of his is thrillers, but he has some
Supernatural
weirdness
like thing to
thrown
them.
in there,
Yeah.
which is part of that's in the Funhouse too. It's like this is not really a genre that I know of, but it's like a horror thriller. If that makes sense. Like it.
Yeah. Most nerds would say it's a thriller with horror elements.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a nerd.
I know you're not. I'm just saying.
But it's it's along those lines. But then again, that's not something that really scares me all that much.
Yeah.
What scares me is like the book Misery, if you've ever read it by Stephen King.
I haven't, but I've seen the movie.
Well, you know how realistic it could possibly be. That scares me more than anything else.
That's why I can't do any of the I've seen Your Next, but I can't do a lot of the home invasion ones because they're too real to me.
Yeah, like I've read some Alex Cross books, the series by James Patterson. I love them. Okay. I love them.
Because I've heard some people say he's a hack. I didn't know if they were good or not.
Well, they're probably idiots, and give me their addresses, and I'll mail them a letter telling them they're idiot.
Okay.
But like in some of those books, and it may not have been those specifically, like they've been trying to take down these terrorists who have put chemicals in the water that will turn everybody into like raving lunatics, or kill them, outright. That terrifies me. Yeah, because I see that as something that could happen.
Speaking of that, that's one of the things I like about the Joe Ledger series is it takes like the horror tropes and like adds realism to them. Like theoretically, this could happen.
Exactly. And that's more terrifying than anything Stephen King could ever write.
Although I have a problem with demonic shit. Like, I don't know if it's my Catholic upbringing or not, but that stuff terrifies me. And aliens. Alien abduction is my one true fear, I think.
Oh, I bet you were scared at the movie E.T., huh?
No, because he was friendly.
Okay.
Or was he?
My ET would be like, phone, and stab somebody. You know? That's just,
Yeah, your ET would like be friendly until like the end of the movie.
yeah, like they go to give him a hug saying goodbye and he stabs them in the back and drinks their blood.
I think I read somewhere where the original idea for that was supposed to make him evil, but they changed it.
Yeah, I love that movie. I need to
I used
watch
to
it again.
cry like a baby at the end.
Well, he was so cute though. But
You probably knew this, and this is totally off topic, but did you know he was voiced by a woman?
yes, I did.
Okay.
I mean, I had forgotten.
I had something.
But
Oh, sorry, I gave you another 1 second.
yeah, it's getting less and less. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I have something in common with ET. I love Reese's Pieces.
What, y'all both have big heads?
No,
Oh.
I do have a big head though. They made fun
Oh.
of me when I got my graduation cap because they're like, "God, your head's big," in front of the whole fucking school. They said that.
I got a big head too. It's all good.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Couldn't help it.
But let's get to one of our favorite segments. The creature feature. Today, what we're going to be doing is going through monsters of the multiverse. Going to be going in the alphabetical order. You know, picking like A. This week will be B. Next week will be C.
Yeah, we're not going to do all the A's.
Right.
Because there's a shit ton.
As long as there's like a monster in every letter for the alphabet, because I can't remember off the top of my head.
There probably is.
We're going to go in order, which I think is really cool. We're not going to give you everything about the monster because of the whole copyright thing, and you know.
We're going to give you a taste.
This creature sounds awesome. The Banderhobb. Or Banderhobb.
That name just sounds cool.
Is how Jaws says it.
I would say Banderhobb.
Banderhoop.
Just because that sounds cool.
Makes me think about that.
An evil German or something.
I'm trying to remember the movie. I think it's Black. Yeah, it is Black Sheep. Would go road. You know, it's such a funny word. When the
Which movie?
I think it's Black Sheep.
I actually really. This will make you probably mad. I like that more than Tommy Boy.
You are no longer the host, and I'm going to be finding somebody else.
Who can feel my shoes, honestly?
Probably two people because you got big feet. But
actually, no, I don't. My feet are like tens.
The Banderhobb is a creature of shadow and flesh. And whenever they are brought into this world, they are a rather large bipedal toad-looking creature. They're mostly used as like thugs or mercenaries, kidnappers, things like that. And as long as they have a personal item of their target person, like say there was one that was targeting, you, if they had your earbuds, they could tell where you are, as long as they are within a mile of you.
It's
really, really cool. They're considered to be a large monstrosity, and they have an AC of 15, which, is really not that hard to hit.
No.
If you, got your stuff, in the right places for your, character, like, max points in charisma if you're a sorcerer, or strength if you're a barbarian, or, but this, that kind of let me down about the monster a little bit,
You
could
beef up its hit points, though.
You could, or you could do multiples of them, because whenever I was reading this, I was thinking like,
a gang,
mobster thugs, like from the mafia and things like that you read in books or watch on.
Yeah. I thought of Bebop and Rocksteady as toads.
Yeah. Perfect example there. I mean, they were really easy to beat up, but they were rather dumb because they kept coming back for more.
I love them.
Oh, I did too. That's the only part about the newer Turtle movie that came out that I liked. That they were in
Yeah,
there.
that's the only part of the older ones that I didn't like, that they
Yeah.
weren't there.
Yeah, me too.
Because Tokar and Razor were kind of badass, so they don't really count.
Yeah. They could have done Bebop and Rocksteady in that instead. But they have an average hit point value of 84, which
So I would beef that up. Well, I guess if they're thugs, you don't really need to beef that up, though.
no, and whenever we get down to this, we'll talk about this a little bit more.
You could even just use them for comedic effect, kind of, too.
You could. They have a max hit point of 120. You know, which to me seems to be a little overboard.
Yeah.
You know, because
I think I'd do 100.
I don't mind maxing out my bad guys' hit points if my players' hit points are maxed out.
Yeah.
You know, because it levels it out. But here's what I had a problem with was the challenge rating is a 5, which means 1800 XP. The 84 to me doesn't seem to fit that.
No, I don't think so either.
Because I mean we've all fought in battles where one thing it was a giant had like 100 and something, and we defeated it in what 2-3 rounds.
Well, you guys just ruled great though too.
Well, and that's part of the thing, is if that happens. I mean,
but you can't always count on that,
Right. If you're rolling low, then the 84 will kill you in a heartbeat. It's just. I guess it averages out, but like in all things, you can always run away if things aren't going your way.
I feel like that's something that no one, myself included, no one does.
No, I build my characters normally not to run away.
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
Now, because I usually, if I'm building a good character, he's going to run in to let the rest of the party go.
Yeah, he's not going to leave.
Yeah, you've seen me do that, several times.
Mm-hmm.
But the character that I have, like in Jim's game that he runs every other Saturday in Mutant Year Zero, I mean, he has like 1 hit point, because it's based off of strength. So if something even looks a little shaky, he's gone. He's like, his name's Novgar, and he runs. Like somebody sneezes too loud, he's running. But
yeah,
you have to play to your.
He's like, fuck this.
Exactly. But these thug frogs, for lack of a better term, the Banderhobb has 2 attacks that it can do. It has a bite attack, and it has a really cool tongue attack, which I think is just freaking awesome. Because it's a toad. And they have like
it should have
tongue.
a tongue. Yeah.
And they get, like I said, 2 attacks per turn, but they can exchange one of their attacks to use Shadow Step to, basically teleport like 30 feet away. On their bite attack, they get a plus. On their bite and a tongue attack, they get a +8 to hit.
Oh.
Now, see, that is absolutely crazy. But their strength and constitution is maxed out at 20. But the average damage on like a bite attack is piercing damage. The average damage is 15. That's pretty freaking bad right there. If you're a sorcerer, granted you shouldn't be in melee with something like this.
No,
anyway.
But if you're dumb like me.
Yeah. Or if like your DM doesn't give you like, like, oh, there they are right there, boom, and doesn't give you a chance to run, then you're already right there in melee. And
what is its tongue attack?
Damage. The average on it is 10 damage. But
so I feel like I would make that higher and make it like an acid tongue or something.
Let me finish then. Okay. It is a necrotic damage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's pretty awesome, and it can swallow you.
That is
as long as
what was the campaign What was the monster that kept swallowing us? I think it was something you ran, or was it something I ran? I
It
can't remember.
was something I ran. It was in the final section.
Oh yeah, you said that thing wasn't even supposed to be that tough.
Yeah. I mean, y'all should have been able to destroy it.
I think it kept swallowing Adrian, didn't it?
No, it kept swallowing Steven, who was.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, because he voluntarily shadow stepped into the stomach, which.
Oh, so great.
I liked it because he was thinking outside the box, and I go by the rule of cool, as anybody who plays in my sessions know. And I thought, that's pretty cool. I doubt there's really a shadow in there, but I like it.
Not that he needs a bigger head, but Steven is a great player.
He is, and he shadow stepped in there, and then his rolls were crap.
Yep.
And that happens, but that is our creature feature for the week. Look forward to next week when we'll go with the letter C. C.
C is for cookie.
I may make a cookie monster. That would be funny.
If I can have a suggestion, make us face a cookie monster. And I really hope, and I'm not trying to tell you what to do, it's your campaign, but I really hope we face a Grinch in Whoville.
We'll see. You never know what you'll face in Whoville.
I love the idea that someone came up with that and you just went with it.
Oh yeah.
I think that was Steven. It was.
No, I thought it was you.
Oh, I thought it was him. I thought he was was it Whoville? Maybe not.
Yeah, he said the Whoville, and you said that about the Grinch.
Oh, of course.
I thought you was meaning coming up with the Grinch thing.
Yeah, because Jasmine hates Grinches.
Yeah, for some reason. But that's really all that we have for this week. Hope everybody's having a good time. Hope everybody's ready for everyone games. And, after this episode is over, I will be playing the trailer again for the Dice Heads. Be sure to check it out because, pretty fun, pretty awesome group of guys. And be sure to follow them on any of your podcast platforms because, we're going to do it in seasons and have a good time at doing it.
Is it different? Are you going to do different? They have to do different characters each season, or haven't you figured that out yet?
I'm not really sure yet. I'm not really sure which way we're going to do it, but we'll figure it out. That's cool. As for that, everybody, remember to like, share, and
subscribe, and happy fall, y'all.
This episode is brought to you by the Knights of the Braille and is made possible through the support of viewers such as you. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to get all of the latest information and episodes. Thank you.
Welcome everyone to this exclusive one-shot, The Dungeon Daddy's Disciple.
Kicking off the DiceHeadsRevolution, T and Cleves of the Seesaw Podcast.
Chad Michael Boughton of Hindsight is 20/200.
And your DM Richard from Knights of the Braille.
Over the course of the series, join Brago, MP, and Grog as they find themselves in an eerie seaside town with no way to get home.
Do they have the strength to overcome the trials that the Dungeon Daddy has in store? Let the dice decide.